I'm sorry, internet led cut off. So we'll continue where we left off. This is part two, the most important interview you'll ever have. Guys, this is a job interview that I'm talking about, but you're not the one applying for the job. You're the manager. You're the one sitting in the manager's seat. You're in the bird seat. You're asking the questions. And who is the person, or what is the object being interviewed? Guys, what's being interviewed is your money. We're going to interview your money. Like, let me see. Let's take $1. Let's start with $1. All right. Now you got this dollar. This dollar wants a job. Okay. What questions are you going to ask this dollar to ensure that it's qualified for your job? Have you ever employed your money before? Hey, April, I see you tuning in all the time. It's just a matter of time before I see you making it happen and you jumping and taking a leap and you're like, that makes so much sense, and I'm ready to do it. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to working with you. But you need to ask these questions to your potential employee. When I say the most important interview that you will ever have, that you will ever be on, it's because you are the one that's giving questions. You are the one asking the questions to the one that's potentially trying to work for you. This wants the job. Do you know the right questions to ask this dollar before it can work for you? For a majority of the people, for 95% of the people in the world, they do not know the questions to ask. And because they don't know the questions to ask, they will always be on the other side of the interview being asked the questions. Why do you want to work for our company? What is your expected salary? Why should we hire you over anyone else? Where did you go to college? What was your GPA? And these are the types of questions that the interviewer is going to ask of you, because 95% of the people don't understand the questions to ask this. This is what you need to be interviewing. You need to interview your money. Once you get paid from your job, what do you do with your money? 95% of the people, when they get their money, they pay their bills. That's almost like people say, well, what do you mean? That's what you're supposed to do. When you get paid, you're supposed to pay your bills. And that's how 95% of the people in the world who work for a living, that's how they think. There is 5% of the world who thinks different. 1% of the world, only 1% of the world, guys, knows how to ask this right here, interview questions. Have you ever thought about giving your money a job? Employ your money and make it go to work. Like, look, okay, who's that? That's Washington. So we say, Mr. Washington, I know that I went to work 40 hours a week and I got paid so I can take care of my lifestyle. I am now looking to hire. I'm looking to hire, and you look like you might want a job. Why do you want to work for me? Okay, we know that question, right? We all been on enough interviews to know that the one question is, why do you want to work for me? Now, the answer to that question, why do you want to work for me, is because I want to make money. Hold on one second. Let me close this door to get a little privacy. Close the door to the office. It's a glass door, but still. All right. So, why do you want to work for me, Mr. Washington? Well, sir, Mr. Price, Mr. Barksdale, Miss Tiff, I want to work for you because I want to make more money. I want to make money. So, Mr. Washington, this is where it gets difficult. if you don't know the right questions to ask, because nobody's ever educated us guys on how to make our money work for us. So when you see me doing this live, you're like, that's crazy. You know, I work 40 hours on my job. I get paid. When I get paid, I pay my bills. After I finish paying my bills, whatever I want to do, you know what I'm saying, to take care of my lifestyle for the weekend, that's what I do. Then I go back to work Monday, and then I just keep doing it. I repeat the cycle. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with that? And I'm going to do that until I retire. You know what I'm saying? And once I retire, I have my 401k, and I retire off my 401k. And that's how 95% of the people are programmed to think. So when you're talking about employing your money, trust me when I tell you, this is the most important interview that you will ever have. Learning these questions will put you in a position where you won't have to rely on your 401k, but this can put 401k in your account before you reach 65, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you guys. It's important. This is so important. Okay, the reason why we don't know the questions to ask this money is because there was never a course in our college curriculum that we had to take. Never. There was, if you had Wealth 101 or Wealth 201 in college, please post that in the comments down there and let me know, because what college was that? I went to Grambling State University. I'm from a GSU alumni, and I got 2 bachelors and 1 associate, and I have an associate's in economics. And my associate in economics still didn't teach me how to give my money a job after I got it. So something was really, really wrong with the system. So 95% of us are conditioned to do that. Most of our professors, they can only teach us to that level of their knowledge. And because they did not know how to employ their money, there was no way that they could teach it. Now let me say this, Dr. Durant, when I was a freshman in Grambling State, he said, when you guys get your refund check, don't just go to the mall and spend all of your money. He said, there's a new store that they just opened 7 miles down the road. It's called Walmart. When you guys get your refund check, he said, take $1,100 and go buy 100 shares of that stock. Guys, the shares of Walmart when I was a freshman was $11 a share. So to buy 100 would have been $1,100. I could have had 100 shares of stock for $1,100. Today, that shares of stock would have been like a little bit more than $84,000. So I didn't do it, you know, as most young Americans, if we didn't get it from our parents, whatever. And we don't really talk about money at our dinner tables. You know, it's kind of a taboo to talk about money at the dinner tables because, and I'll explain to you why. It's because of the lack of financial literacy that we had coming up. You know, when our parents were of age 16 and older, and they asked their parents for things like, Mom, you know what I'm saying, Dad, I need the new XYZ, I need the new so-and-so. Their response to our parents was, you need to go get a job. So that was programmed down to us. When we were 16 years old and when we asked our parents, you know, Mom, Dad, I need XYZ, the answer was, you need to go get a job. So that's the programming that we had, and that's the programming that we give to our children today. You know, they're 16 years up and older now, and they say, Mom, Dad, I need XYZ. And even if we have the money, we still say you need to go and get a job. And that's because we don't know how to give our money the interview questions. We don't know how to ask it and say, okay, if I hire you today, Mr. Washington, I hire you today, how are you going to go out and bring me back a return on this tomorrow? Not saying that I'm going to take $50,000 and I'm going to go buy some property. No, let's talk about this $1 bill, which most of us can have access to. Most of us have access to $1. So that's who I'm talking to. My heart is going out to the average 95% of Americans that work or globally that work for their money. You work to get paid. You have at least $1. So you want to employ this dollar. If I hire you today, what can you do to bring me back more money tomorrow? So that means what I'm saying is, if I employ you to go out I want you to bring me back another one of these. So I should have 2 of these working for me. I'm not finna do the work. I already have a job where I take care of my family. I work 40 hours a week. I travel here, I travel there. I put my time in. I put my time in to get you in the first place. Now I pay my bills. I pay all of my expenses. I do it. I give my allowance to my kids. I do all of that. After I've done that and I have this left over, how can you, Mr. Washington, go to work for me today and bring me back another one of these tomorrow? 95% of us don't know how to do that. That we don't know how to employ this to bring us back this without trading time for money. And that's what this interview is about. This is the most important interview, guys, you will ever have in your life. You are not the one being interviewed. You are interviewing Mr. Washington. Guys, the reason that our taboo dinner table discussions are not about money is because our parents don't know how to employ money. All our parents know how to do is say, look, mama don't got the money right now. Daddy don't have the money right now. So I'm going to try to put in some overtime. If I get some extra money, then I'll go get you XYZ. That's our conversation about money at the dinner table. I bought this food. I got these lights on over your head. Do you got to worry about the light bill when you come in this house? Your only job is to do what? Go to school and get good grades. I pay these bills. I supply this food. You don't worry about if you can get XYZ tomorrow. If I can get it for you, I get it. That's the money conversation that we're having at our table. And I know you guys feel me. Y'all know that's the truth. You know that's the truth. So how do we flip that script, man? Guys, I'm going to be honest with you, flat out honest with you. I didn't know how to interview Mr. Washington in 2017. We only, this is January, February, March, April, May. For 5 months of my life, for only 5 months of my life, guys, and I'm over 40 years old. I'm over 40. And for only 5 months of my life, I've known how to interview money. That's powerful, guys. And you guys are on this live right now getting access to this. Guys, if you're still here with me, if you're on this live, please hit the share button. Please hit the like button. If what I'm saying to you resonates with you. I'm over 40 years old and I never knew how to give my money a job until the end of 2017. I hustled. Guys, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I grew up in Jeffrey Manor. And if you can grow up in Jeffrey Manor and learn how to hustle, you can do it anywhere on the planet. But I never learned how to give my money a job. I hustle hard for the money. I had so many risks that I had taken to make money. You wouldn't believe the things that me and my guys did to make money in our neighborhood. But I'm talking about learning how to give your money a job where it goes out and it says, okay, I'm going to work hard for you today to bring back another one of these. And you don't have to do anything. You just manage. What? Wait a minute. If I give you the job, Mr. Washington, you're going to go out, you're going to do the work, and then you're going to bring back another one of these without me having to trade any time, with me not having to punch a clock. You're going to bring me back. My $1 is going to turn into $2. That's what you. Yes. I want to do that for you, sir. I want to do that for you, ma'am. But I need to know, what am I supposed to do? You worked hard to get the money in your hand. Most people, and it's gone. Once you spend the money, there's an END in spend. What does END spell? N. You put an N to your money when you spend it. There's no way for it to multiply and grow. 95% of the people who make money live like that. The other there's 4% that are actual business owners. Business owners, they have systems, they employ people, and the people do the work and they produce an income, and then the business owner gives them a check. So you got the 95% of people who work for money, 4% of the people who own a business. There's 1% left in the world. Only 1% of the people in the world know how to employ Mr. Washington and make Mr. Washington bring back two. Only 1% of the world, guys. And I was just privy to this information in the end of December 2017. I just learned this, guys. So that's why I do the Wealth Code Reveal Show. I do the Wealth Code Reveal Show because I need to reveal, guys, how we as regular people, how the 95% of the people can empower ourselves and then be like the 1%. Guys, what I want to implore on you today is how to continue to work full time on your job. Not quit your job. I will not employ anybody to quit a job, because having a job, it maintains your lifestyle. But don't keep a having a job mentality. You have to adopt the mentality of, how do I become an investor? How can I give some of my money a job? That's what I want to share with you guys. It's such a powerful component missing out of our lives that we don't have. The interview process, the right questions. Mr. Washington, if I hire you, will you bring me back another Washington tomorrow? And Mr. Washington say, well, I can take a fraction of me. I could take 10 cents or 20 cents and I can put that to work for you. And that 20 cents can bring you back an entire dollar by itself. So I've employed Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington's job is to take 20 cents out of this dollar, leaving the other 80 cents, taking 20 cents, working hard, bringing me back another dollar. So if Mr. Washington can take 20 cents today and bring back a dollar, can he take 20 cents tomorrow and bring back another dollar? Absolutely. Can he take 20 cents and bring back another dollar? Absolutely. What if you employ the entire dollar? Can it bring you back $10? Yes, it could. Once you knew how to ask the identifying questions, and as the manager, you understood the skill on how to manage it and where to put Mr. Washington in order for him to work that hard for you. You have to have the factory in place in order to employ Mr. Washington. How would you guys like to have the factory to employ Mr. Washington? Somebody gave me the factory that only 1% of the world uses. Guys, 95% of people trade time for Mr. Washington. 4% of the people trade you for Mr. Washington in their system called business ownership. So you add 95 plus 4, that's 99% of the global population either trades time for money or trades people for money. Only 1% of the world, guys, have a system where they trade Mr. Washington for more Mr. Washingtons. Do you want access to that warehouse? Guys, if you're watching this video, this makes sense to you. If you want to be the one interviewing, asking the qualifying questions, learning the qualifying questions, I implore you to shoot me a message. Send me a message, a direct message, put number 1 at the bottom, however you want to do it, you want to get access to that actual warehouse yourself to learn how to multiply the money that you have. Because it's so, so, so important to take care of your family. Guys, some of us have children. And you know the discussions that you should be having with your children when it comes to Mr. Washington's, the questions that you should be asking when they say, well, Mom, Dad, I need XYZ so I can buy ABC. Or you with your lady friend, or you with your guy friend, your significant other. and you guys are planning a vacation. Instead of you saying, oh man, I work 40 hours, man, they cut my hours and I only got this amount and I got to budget this amount. Those are 95% of the conversations that's being had at the dinner tables. But once you get hold of the interview process, once you know how to interview Mr. Washington, and once you interview Mr. Washington say, well, I can go to work for you and I can bring back another one. Now you got two Mr. Washingtons and you didn't have to do anything but just hire me and send me through the factory. Once you have access to that factory, guys, life gets so much more free. The decisions that you can make, because now your money is working hard for you while you're working full-time on your job, and then your money is working part-time on your fortune. As your fortune starts to accumulate, hey, you can take more sick days. You can walk in a little bit more. Like I said, don't quit your job. I'd never tell anybody to quit their job, but you're going to work on your fortune part-time. Work on your fortune part-time. So you can talk to your lady and your guy and your children and you say, well, I know you said you wanted $100 for XYZ. Well, let me ask you a question. How many pips did you get today, Johnny? How many pips today did you get, Maria? Oh, well, Mom. Oh, well, Dad. I got 60 pips today. Oh, okay, great. You got 60 pips. What was your lot size? Well, I had a 10-cent lot size. Okay, you had a 10-cent lot size and you had 60 pips. How much did you get today? Oh, I made $6 today. Okay, so Mr. Washington went to work. Out of that $1, he employed 10 cents out of the $1. And that 10 cents brought him back $6. Maria, Johnny, did you have to work for that? No. What happened? Well, I employed Mr. Washington, and Mr. Washington worked in the warehouse, and he took 10 pips, and he turned the 10 pips into 60 pips, and I made $6. Did you make $6, or did Mr. Washington make $6? Well, Mr. Washington made it. That's great. So what are you going to do tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I think I'm going to do 20. I think I'm going to do two 10-cent lots. I'm going to do a 20-cent lot size. See, guys, when you have the right conversation with your children and you're giving the right education to your children, and when you're talking things like pips and lot size and risk management and stop loss and take profit, that's an entirely different language. That's the language of wealthy people. That's the language that people have when they're understanding that 1% on how to employ Mr. Washington. Those are the questions that you're going to ask Mr. Washington in the interview process. You're going to say, okay, if you work for me, what can I expect? How many pips can I expect you to bring me back tomorrow? How many pips can I expect for you to work hard for and bring me back tomorrow? If I put two Mr. Washingtons in the warehouse, what can I expect you to bring me back tomorrow? And I'm going to manage you. I'm going to give you a time frame, and I want you to bring me back XYZ. Doesn't that happen at your job? Don't you have to be productive on your job in order for you to make sure that you have the lifestyle that you take care of for your family? Don't you have a manager, or you might be the manager and you're overseeing people, and there's a performance that has to be done in order for you to keep your job? Absolutely. So if Mr. Washington, when you hire Mr. Washington to do your job for you, you expect him to hit that mark that he's supposed to hit in order to bring back another extra Washington. And if he doesn't do it, you fire him, and then you go hire another one. But you have to learn this system. You have to learn this language. You have to learn the most important interview questions that you will ever ask in your life. You're not the one being interviewed. You are the interviewee. I'm not talking about business ownership. I'm talking about being in that 1% quadrant, guys, where people understand how to employ Mr. Washington and how to ask the right questions to Mr. Washington to ensure that he brings back more while you work full-time on your job. That's what I want you to get hold of. Those are the interview questions that I want to embark on you, that I want to share with you. Guys, like I told you, the interview questions, for me, I just learned them 5 months ago. I'm over 40 years old, and this was hidden from me. And now I'm bringing the Wealth Code Reveal Show to you live so you can get it, so you can share with your family and your friends. Guys, if this makes sense to you, hit the share button. If I'm sharing this with you and you want that Wealth Code revealed to you from me, shoot me a message, or just go to www.myfinancialbreakthrough.com. Go to www.myfinancialbreakthrough.com. If somebody is sharing this from you and you're seeing it from another person's page and they're sharing it from you and you're friends with them, please get back with them. That's the person that thought enough about you to share it on their page because they wanted you to give the information, because I'm not friends with you directly. You're friends with them on social media somewhere. So because they use their platform to share this information with you, then please get back with them. Find out how you can get your own warehouse where you can hire your own Washingtons, where you can make them work for you, where you can ask them to interview questions, where they go and work hard for you and bring you back your part-time fortune while you still work full-time on your job and take care of your lifestyle. Guys, this is Dion, Dr. Pipper Sylvester. I'm signing off. I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much for your time. Like I said, go to www.myfinancialbreakthrough.com, or you can go to www.learnmoreaboutforex. Either one. Doesn't matter. Don't want to confuse people. www.myfinancialbreakthrough.com. That's where I told you to go to first. Go through there. If somebody shared this with you from their page, go to them directly. Go to them. They shared enough information with you. They thought enough about you to like and share this on their page. Get back with them, because you're friends with them. You're connected with them. Stay connected with them. I value them as a friend. They thought enough about me to share this information with you on their page, on their YouTube, on their Instagram, on their Facebook, whatever it was. Get back with them to get information on opening your own warehouse or hiring your own Washingtons. Because to me, it's important what you talk to with your children. It's important what you talk to about with your children. So very important. Let's break the generational curses. Let's not tell our children, you're going to have to go and get a job. Let's learn to tell our children, we're going to have to learn how to raise our lot size. We're going to have to learn how to grow our lot size. We're going to learn how to take proper risk management. We're going to learn how to read this chart so we can know where to put our take profit. We're going to know and understand how to read this chart so we can understand where we put our stop loss. We want to understand. We want to understand when we see these charts to know what a Fibonacci is. You know, these are just different terms, guys. But in order for you to get this information, in order for you to interview your money, you have to learn this stuff. You got to learn it. So with that, guys, I'm signing off. I appreciate you. Thanks again. Talk to you guys later.